Elvis Presley's last privately owned jet was auctioned Saturday after sitting on a tarmac in Roswell, New Mexico, for 35 years. The plane sold for $430,000 on Saturday at an Agoura Hills, California, event featuring celebrity memorabilia. GWS Auctions Inc said it was expected to fetch between $2 million and $3.5 million, £2.6 million, according to liveauctioneers.com, the site handling the bidding. The 1962 red Lockheed JetStarOne has been referred to as the lost jet. The buyer was not disclosed in the sold note posted on the firm's website, and auctioneer Bridget Cruz said she could not immediately release information about the buyer or the buyer's plans for the plane. Before being auctioned off, the jet had remained hidden away in an aircraft graveyard for 35 years and is preserved with its red velvet seats, shag pile carpets and original woodwork. The auction house says Elvis designed the jet's interior, but the plane has no engine and needs a restoration of its cockpit. The aircraft was one of 3 jets owned by the King of Rock and Roll throughout his lifetime, and was particularly special to him as he owned it with his father Vernon Presley. A previous owner of the private jet disputed the auction house's claim the King of Rock and Roll designed its red velvet interior. Roy McKay told KOB-TV in Albuquerque on Tuesday he designed the interior himself. McKay said that when he purchased the red 1962 Lockheed JetStar, it had a two-tone gray interior and kind of looked like a casket. But then GWS spokesman Carl Carter told the Associated Press the auction house is confident Elvis designed the interior, which photos show has red velvet seats and red shag carpet. Federal Aviation Administration records show no interior changes were ever made to the jet, Carter said. The listing for the plane read, "This aircraft has never been restored and features original external painting and detailing, as well as original interior." The interior was custom designed to Elvis specifications down to the gold tone, woodwork, inlay and red velvet seats and red shag carpet. The jet was previously owned by a private collector, who has not been named. The owner kept the collector's item all this time but it is not in flying condition. This rare airplane is one of only 204 aircraft manufactured between 1957 and 1978 in a private collaboration between Jetstar and Lockheed. The cockpit, along with the rest of the jet, has never been restored. The bidding has already started with a $10,000 offer, despite the fact that the plane currently does not have any engines. Before the auction, Bridget Cruz, owner of GWS Auctions, Inc., said, "This jet is a remarkable find. It is being sold by a private collector. It has attracted a lot of tourists in Roswell, and it still has the original woodwork, inlay, red velvet seats and red shag carpet. It has the potential to be fully restored and made the centerpiece of a major exhibit." This is the only jet owned by Elvis that is still owned privately. He owned it with his father Vernon. From what we understand, it's a very early asset. The first thing that came to my mind when the seller contacted me was what kind of shape the jet would be in. It had been sitting for 30 years, so I believed it had to be dilapidated, but it isn't at all. The owner chose the location because of the altitude and air quality so that it was not exposed to rust or oxidized. It's in impressive condition for being in the desert for 30 years. Inside is impeccable. The engine has been taken out, but it's a perfect exhibit piece. Whether it's for a museum, casino or someone looking for a focal point, it will be an amazing piece. Elvis was known for getting pieces with diamonds for on stage. This is a substantial piece compared to the others he owned. Elvis's custom-designed 4.5 carat diamond and solid 14K carat yellow gold ring estimated at $35,000 were also available at the auction. Other items, including negatives of Elvis, newspapers mourning his death, a Hawaii wood-mounted photo, vintage tracks and a BMI award, all were set to fetch $5,000, as well as Elvis memorabilia and items. There were other famous lots set to go under the hammer. They included handwritten memoirs from the Beach Boys and items from Tom Hanks, Nelson Mandela, Ray Charles, James Brown, Madonna, Bing Crosby and more. Ahead of the auction, Cruz said, "This is a remarkable compilation of letters, lost photographs and much more. The mysterious letters and writings of Brian Wilson are especially noteworthy. The auction began at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, with online bidding available. Cruz said, "There is no reserve on any of these pieces, so it will sell for what it's worth. Our estimates are only a guide. You can't compare the pieces to anything though, as they are the only ones in the world available for private sale. The other ones are owned by the Elvis Presley Museum." Presley was born in Tupelo on January 8, 1935, and moved to Memphis with his parents at age 13. He became a leading figure in the fledgling rockabilly scene by covering songs originally performed by African-American artists like Big Mama Thornton, Hound Dog and Arthur Crudup. That's All Right. His provocative dancing and hit records turned him into one of the 20th century's most recognizable icons. Historians say his music also helped usher in the fall of racial segregation. Elvis was 42 when he died on August 16, 1977, in Memphis.